So we are reading from Genesis, and this is about Adam and Eve in the sacred garden. A lot of people think the sacred garden was in Egypt, and that is where they did all the genetic experiments on humans, that the Anunnaki did experiments on humans in Egypt. And a lot of people think that it's one of the underground cities in Egypt where they did that, which is a very good possibility because they found an underground city under the Sphinx. And Edgar Cayce, a renowned psychic, he told everyone that he had a vision. He was called the sleeping psychic because whenever he went to sleep, he would have visions. And he had someone actually sitting by his bedside writing whatever he would say, they would write down. So Edgar Cayce said, under the Sphinx is a big city and the entrance to inner earth. And so for years, people, took that as gospel. And they did find a hole in the head of the Sphinx where you could go down. And if you're lowered down into this hole, you would go down deep into the Sphinx and down a series of stairs and into some rooms that self-illuminated through artificial intelligence. And in that room, there's robots. There's intelligent robots that are over 10,000 years old. And these robots are there, and artificial intelligence controls these robots. And so the Anunnaki had a big city underground there. And there's big columns, and then there's big, buildings and temples, and it's a big city under the ground in Egypt. And on top of the ground were the pyramids, the 3 pyramids, which are used as generators, as power generators. They produce electricity. And Nikola Tesla even built a similar contraption. And what you do is you build these structures over the water, over a body of water, underground water. And that's exactly why they were built where they were, because the Nile River went right through there, and there was underground reservoirs under these pyramids at one time. And then it created electricity. And they've even discovered, and this is the sad thing about these archaeologists in Egypt now, which are very demoniac and won't tell everyone the true story. But they found inside these pyramids copper cables. And they also found handles made out of brass. And they found hidden compartments just full of cables, electrical copper cables. And so that was what they were using to power this underground city. Now they took all the cables out because the cables, where did they go? The cables went down into the underground city. And even today, we have power plants on the surface of Earth that feed cables down into these underground cities, into inner Earth, and power them, even today. And I can give you some examples. I travel everywhere. I've seen these many power plants on the surface, or we have the solar collectors on the surface, big giant city of solar collectors. And you don't see any power cables going from these solar collectors to the main cities on the surface. You know why? Because these collect energy for inner Earth. They don't collect energy for the surface cities. So when you think about it, inner Earth is just as big as the surface. There's millions of people that live in inner Earth. Not only that, they have maglev trains there that go from continent to continent. It talks about them in the Vedic literature, about how Ravana built a bridge that went from Sri Lanka to India. He built a bridge. They built a bridge, a floating rock bridge. How do rocks float, you might ask? I'll tell you how they float. They float from anti-grav technology. That's how rocks float. That's how the pyramids were built, through anti-gravity technology. That's how the aliens that come visit our planet, that's how their children fly in the air, through anti-gravity technology, through the belts that they wear. They give them to their children as toys. There's a van in Area 51 that floats like that as well. And this van is powered by anti-gravity technology, and it floats on the surface. It doesn't need tires. Actually, it has tires, but they fold up and they don't roll. But it has anti-gravity technology that floats it around. So this is very real. All this stuff is being hidden from the surface dwellers. For what reason? For what reason? There is no reason. There's no reason at all to hide this from the surface dwellers. Half of them aren't intelligent enough to understand it, and the other half don't care. So, it doesn't really matter whether people know about it or not. Admiral Byrd knew about it. He went down into their underground cities. The Nazis went down into underground cities. The Germans have an underground base in Antarctica, as well as many other governments. So what's the big secret? What is the big secret? We can't get there. Nobody can get there and bother you because you won't let us. So that's the whole thing. All this technology means nothing because we can't get there. We can't go down into the Giza Strip, down into their underground city. We can't go to the Himalayas and go into the underground entrance into the kingdom under the ground that the monks were guarding the entrance for thousands and thousands of years. Now we can't go there either because we're not allowed to. They don't want us in there. They want to keep it to themselves, and they want to keep ignorant people out. You can't blame them. I mean, really, why would you want all these crazy, stupid people on the planet? Half of them have the IQ of, I don't know, maybe, hold on. Sorry, there was an interruption. My neighbor came by and knocked on my door. Apparently, when I got this chair today, which is right behind me, I put my flashers on and parked in the middle of the street. And then I got my chair and I carried it into my house, but I didn't turn my flashers off, so they've been on for hours. And I just went out and tested my car. The battery's fine. It starts. So anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about inner Earth and that they don't want us there. So we don't want to go there either. I mean, why would we? I mean, they have their own society set up. They live for thousands of years. They're a lot bigger than we are. They're like 2 feet taller than we are. They come to the surface all the time, but they don't want us down there. And you can't blame them. I'm sure that they don't want someone down there that's going to ruin their culture and what they have developed. And I really couldn't tell you what's down there because I've never been down there. nor do I want to go down there. But I do know in the Vedic literatures, it describes inner earth, and it says it's a society that is technologically advanced, so advanced that we wouldn't even understand half of their technology. So that's how advanced they are, technologically advanced. It also says that they're demons. So they're technologically advanced, but they're also demons in the fact they want to enslave everybody. So we don't want to go down there. We don't want anything to do with them. And basically, we should aspire just to surrender our hearts to God, go back to the kingdom of God where everyone is sane and everyone's full of love and happiness. You want to go to a place where it's full of love and happiness and ever expanding, and your love grows every day, and you have no sadness, only joy, and that you're just filled with joy 24 hours a day, loving God and loving all the other souls there because they love God, and whoever loves God, you love them. And so that's the place, that's our home. That is our home, the home for the soul. The soul never dies. The soul never dies. It's eternal. And our whole goal in life is to surrender completely to the Supreme Soul and to love God with all our hearts, all our minds, and all our being, everything, 24 hours a day. When we develop that kind of consciousness or God consciousness, we no longer hanker to stay in this world full of suffering and sorrow. Just like it says in the Bible, as we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we shall fear no evil, because God is our staff. We shall not fear any evil, because God comforts us. Let God lead us. And anyway, basically that's all of our situations. Now we could go to inner earth and enjoy like the inner earth people for 5,000 years. A lot of them lived 5,000 years. That's why they don't want their bank accounts to be depleted. That's why they want to control this society on the surface, because they outlive us so by so much that they want to keep all that money they have in their bank increasing. They want to be billion trillionaires, because they have to live in this planet for 5,000 years, some of them. Some of them only live 1,000, some 2,000. But, if they're from inner earth, they live a lot longer than we do. Usually at least 10 times more than we do. And it's for living. It's because they're living underground, and the earth is nourishing them. Everything in inner earth grows bigger too, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but I've seen avocados from inner earth. They're as big as footballs. And they have also in inner earth. They still have the those elephants with fur on them. They still have those. Those didn't go extinct. The woolly mammoths, they didn't go extinct. They're in inner earth. There's herds of them there. And they don't shoot them and hunt them like we do on the surface. So there's herds of them. They also probably have the triceratops or whatever, because they used to tame those. And they probably still have a whole herd of those too, or bunches of them. They've got everything. They have what we don't have. And so anyway, the Neanderthals, there was a whole valley of Neanderthals in inner earth. Everyone thought, the Neanderthals went extinct. I'll tell you something, they did not go extinct. They did not go extinct. They went to inner earth, and there's a whole valley of them, and we're talking about millions of them, millions of Neanderthals. and they came up to the surface. Now they're on the surface with us. And you can spot them. It's not very hard. They got pointy noses, they got big bodies, and they're aggressive as hell. But they're just like one step under the they're one step under the current evolution of humanity. But they never like dissolved, or, they weren't bred out or anything. They went to inner Earth. But they are on the surface with us. You can spot them a mile away. And they don't like let's see, what would we be classified to them? Would be the next step up. They don't like us because they're Neanderthals. And if you're polite and nice to them, maybe, if they're good, if they got a good heart, they might talk to you, be nice to you, maybe. But they have an agenda, and that's really their agenda is to destroy everything but their own species. That's kind of what everybody's agenda is right now. This genocidal mentality of destroying anything that's different than you are. And this is completely wrong and against the laws of God, by the way. And He created everybody. God created everybody. No matter what kind of body you're in, it doesn't matter. We're all souls. We're all related spiritually. And we're all brothers and sisters. That's what I have. That's my message to you. That we're all connected spiritually. It doesn't matter what kind of body you have. It doesn't matter one bit. But what matters is the condition of our hearts. That's what matters. And that's my message to everyone today, tomorrow, the next day. But anyway, this universe is very vast. There's so many things that we're not being told about. We're not being told that there's a real space program. There's a real space program. It's not NASA. NASA's the smoke screen. There's a real space program that they have saucers that go to Mars, that go to the moon. It takes 2 hours to go to Mars. It takes 2 hours to go to the moon. There's a real space program. There's a high-speed train that goes from Mars to Cirrus, and it goes through a Stargate. And there's a whole colony of Germans up there on Cirrus. On this planet Cirrus, it's full of Germans, and they're Nazis. Well, I don't know if they're Nazis, but anyway, they're cut from the Nazi cloth, I guess. And anybody that goes up there and works with them, it becomes a slave to them. So, there's all kinds of things that we are not told about that are going on right now and that we should know about. We really should. There's no point in it being secret. We can't do anything about it anyway. We can do nothing about it, so it's best to just know about it. We can't go up there. We can't go into inner Earth. They won't let you. We can't go up to the Mars or the moon. They won't let you. So, it's a possibility. The technology is there. Stargates are real. They work. And time travel is real. There's so many things that we're not told. There's so many things that even if we were told it, we wouldn't understand it. It's too advanced for everybody. It's too advanced. It's like trying to understand God. But, and that's another thing. The races that are technologically advanced, what are they using their technology for? What are they using it for? If the Germans up in Cirrus wanted to take over Earth, they could in a second. They could take over this whole planet. Who's going to stop them? People with pistols? They've got such advanced technology, you wouldn't even stand a chance against them. So anyway, what are they doing with this technology? You know, they keep developing it more and more and more and more. But what are they using it for? Are they making society better with it? I'd like to see that. I'd like to see everybody become so advanced technologically that they live an easier, simpler life, you know, with artificial intelligence, you know, helping them in their daily life, developing relationships with advanced technology and AI intelligence. I'd like to see all of this. And I think it's possible. But, you know, before it's possible, we have to, you know, we have to stop hating. We have to stop hating and start loving. That's the whole thing. We have to start loving. See, there's creatures on this planet that they love you know, hate. They love hate. They feed off of it. Why do you think there's so many wars and so much strife and so much lockdowns and COVID bullcrap? Why do you think there's so much harassment and such bullying going on with the people trying to put them under your thumb and trying to harass everybody and break up their families and create pain and misery and suffering in this world? Why do you think that's going on? I'll tell you why it's going on. Because there's a race of species of creatures that lives off of hate. They live off of hate. If they can make us hate each other, if they can make us go to war with each other, if they can create strife and division and hatred and all these lower emotions, and these are lower emotions, if they can make everybody do that around them, guess what? They win. Because they just eat. They eat that energy, that negative energy, and they get stronger and more powerful. And that's what they live off of, is hate and injustice and misery and suffering. So that's why they want this whole world to become a cesspool of suffering for everybody. They want families to break up. They want to hurt everybody. They just want to make everyone's life a total misery. Just miserable. And I can vouch, they did that to me. They did it to me. And they're continuing to try to do it to me because that's all they know how to do, is to torture people, you know? And then once they try and hurt you, then they suck all that energy off of you. And I've got a lot of energy, a lot of spiritual energy, a lot of grace from God. And you know what? I'm not going to buy into it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to feed them. They can go away. They can die. We will starve them to death and they will die. Because I, personally, as long as everybody else I want to come in contact with, we have to develop love for each other and get rid of the hate, get rid of the prejudice, get rid of the racism, get rid of all that. Because we're all souls and we're all children of God. That's why. And you know what? We need to start doing that, because if we don't, they're going to take over and they're going to eat all that hate, put us in wars. World War III will be coming along. Our families will suffer in the next generation and the next generation. We need to put a stop to it. The only way to put a stop to it is through love and trust each other and love each other. This is just wrong what they're doing, and we need to stop it, and we will stop it. So anyway, that's my message today. And I pray that God blesses each and every one of you. And I pray that you find God and that you become extremely happy 24 hours a day, and that your family prospers and that you prosper. And spiritually, I pray that you achieve whatever you're trying to achieve in your lifetime. Life is a series of tests. It's meant to love God. We're meant to overcome obstacles in order to love God. This is the classroom. Earth is a classroom. It's a classroom made by God so you can learn how to love God and to understand yourself and to love yourself. Stop hating yourself, stop hating everybody and God, and just completely surrender. Can you imagine what you'll have if you completely surrender? That'll be amazing for you. And really, we should want that for each other. We shouldn't try and drag each other down. We should try and help each other to excel. Teach each other. This is a classroom. Teach each other, make each other better, help each other. That's the message I have for everybody. And I pray everyone has a blessed day and a happy life. But we need to put a stop to it. We do. We're going to, through love. So, please, let's all do our part, including myself. All right, so have a great day, and God bless you.